This week, we're looking at the story of Jesus attending a wedding feast at Cana. It's found in the Gospel according to John, chapter 2, the first 11 verses. There's probably more than meets the eye going on in this passage of Scripture, and I've had all kinds of conversations about it over the years. John identifies it as the first sign or the first public miracle that Jesus performs. And he performs it because Mary, his mother, comes to him and tells him they've run out of wine. Jesus' response is that it's not really my time to begin my ministry, but Mary turns to the servants and says, do what he tells you, and Jesus takes the proper lesson that his mother is not going to relent, and he goes ahead and performs this great miracle of turning water into wine. And out of all the places we could go with this passage of Scripture, I want to suggest two important ones for our consideration today and for your thinking, friends. The first one is that in the ancient world, the idea of hospitality was foundational to daily life. And in fact, I would argue in Scripture, the idea of hospitality is one way to understand what God is doing all the way through Scripture, from Genesis to Revelation, extending the home of God towards us. And hospitality in this passage of Scripture is in jeopardy. Because if the hosts, if the families of the bride and groom cannot meet the needs and furnish all the ingredients that go along with the party for the guests while the party is going on, then they will have failed to meet the obligation of hospitality. And this is a serious thing in the ancient world. I don't know if today we think about hospitality in as serious and important a way. But friends, think a little bit then about hospitality. Is it important? How do we do it? How does it change as we live in a pandemic situation? How do we understand it theologically? How do we understand it as spiritual people? Do we resonate with the fact that God seems to find it very important, so important, that Jesus is willing to perform his first miracle, even though he wasn't ready to start his miracles, in order to preserve, to save hospitality? And corresponding to that, and what drives the whole idea a little deeper perhaps for us, is that the very fact the wine ran out suggests that the bride and groom and their families were poor. Because affluent people, wealthy people in the ancient world would never have run out of wine. They would have gone to extreme lengths to make sure they could keep the party going. So these are folks who Jesus comes to celebrate with, who have not enough, and yet still seek to extend hospitality and blessing to others, still seek to celebrate love and the great things of life and include other people in that celebration. They're willing to take risks for what matters most in life. And God in Jesus Christ responds to that risk-taking stance for the sake of hospitality and love. And so, may our risk-taking for graciousness and hospitality and love be enriched and expanded by the grace of God in Jesus Christ. I invite you to join me in thinking some more about these ideas. You can comment below in this video. You can think about it for yourself, or you can join us for worship this weekend. Until next time, friends.